Mahodaya, my question to you is this. Can you explain me clearly the difference between Atma and the Sukshma Sharira?
Yeah. So the question here is, there are some technical words in the Shastram, and this body, we generally say body and mind and walk away. But the Shastram looks at the body, it divides the body into three types. Shariram is the body, but there is Sthula Shariram, which is the gross body that's visible to us, to anybody. That is one part. Second is Sukshmam. Sukshmam is subtle, it is there in the body, I can sense it, but you can't just directly point to it, see it, etc. Again, that's called Sukshma Sharira. There is Karana Sharira also. And then there is Atma, etc. Now, Harprasadji's question is, what is the difference between Atma and Sukshma Shariram? That is his question. Because Sukshma Shariram, see, what they say, see, this question comes from the following things that we've heard. They say after death, the Sukshma Shariram travels to the another body, the popular statement. Okay? And that's true. That's a true statement also. But then Atma also is there, and Atma also is traveling, it seems. So therefore, there seems to be some similarity between Atma and Sukshma Shariram. So he's asking, what is the difference between the two, if any? Yeah. Okay. Now, Sukshma Shariram travels, if we say, Sukshma Shariram is finite. Only a finite entity can travel. The infinite cannot travel, right? So finite only can travel. Sukshma Shariram is finite. Finite, which is associated only with me. Me means what? This individual, this I, me. It's an individual. It's just like I say I am so and so. Sukshma Sharira also will have to say I am so and so. Why? Because it's also a finite entity, which is currently there in my body, in this body, in this. And after death, means after the body cannot, it doesn't survive anymore, the last breath is gone, then the Sukshma Shariram, which is subtle, which is the subtle aspect of this body, mind, sense, like travels. Some Shastrams talk about details, it gives where it travels, how long, etc. There is some science to that. We are not worried about it. And it travels to another body, right? So therefore, that's one thing. Keep that aside. Now there is Atma. What are we studying about Atma? The essence of this entire body is Atma. The essence of every other body also is Atma. What is there between bodies also is Atma. And by the way, Ishvara also is Atma. The entire universe is Atma. If that is our initial understanding of Atma, then that Atma cannot travel. Do you know why it can't travel? Because Atma can only travel to a place where Atma is not. But guess what? There's no place where Atma is not. Therefore, Atma cannot travel. Plus, because Atma is the whole, Atma is no form. Arupa, no form. So the formless cannot travel. Because formless is all pervasive, and Vishnu means Sarva Vyapi, all pervasive. So Atma, as we are going to understand it, is not going to travel at all. But Atma in a particular form can travel. The form can travel, but Atma cannot travel. Even though the essence of the form is also Atma. Sukshma Sharira is Atma, but Atma is not Sukshma Sharira. Like the wave is water, water is not wave. The wave can travel, but if you ask, did water travel? Did water travel? You can say, no, I'm tracking one molecule of water and then I'm tracking because I put some chemical in it, therefore I can track that molecule of water. Science can do that. But in general, water is what water cannot travel, but a wave can travel. Wave can say, no, I travel all the way from the Pacific Ocean. I've come to Indian Ocean to meet somebody called Guru Wave. Okay. Wave can say that, but, but Atma cannot say that. So the answer to your question is Sukshma Sharira can travel because it's a finite entity. Okay. And it can claim to have an identity and it has karma in it. Loaded karma is there, correct? Karana Sharira and Sukshma Sharira together is that load. It is such a concentrated entity and it's traveling, and then finds a body where the next batch of karma can be exhausted. It's so fantastic it is. And so that's one thing. But the ocean cannot travel anywhere. Water cannot travel anywhere. Only if you put a boundary to water and you keep tracking that boundary, then you can say that boundary is travel. That you can say. Water will still say, no, you are welcome to travel, but I don't travel at all. I can't travel at all. That's what Atma will say. So I will stop with that, Haraji.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Yeah, Divya, go ahead.
Namaskaram, Guruji. So we are talking about the Atman, and we are talking about that we are not the body, we're not the mind, we're not the intellect, we're none of that. But while we're experiencing this body, how do we experience the Atman?
Correct. So I'm not the body, but I can experience the body. I'm not the tree also. I can experience the tree. I am not the planet, far away planet also. I'm not, but I can experience that planet. So Divya's question is, how do I experience Atma? My question back to you is, why should you experience Atma? Is there some book you have read a book somewhere which says you must experience Atma in this life, otherwise your life is a waste? Somewhere did you read that? Is there any rule that says, okay, I did not experience Hawaii? They say there are many people go to Hawaii, and it's an island which belongs to America, US of A. So, so now I have to decide whether it's a loss in my life, and therefore next chance I get, I have to go to Hawaii because otherwise life is a waste. I have to decide, or I have to say, okay, I didn't see Hawaii. Okay, next Janma, if it is there, I'll see. Or should I really see Hawaii? What is it about Hawaii that I missed out? Please tell me. If I say, oh, that is that what Hawaii is? In Coimbatore itself, you come, I'll show you another mini Hawaii. I might say that and I may be satisfied. But even the mini Hawaii I've not seen. Okay, that's a different story. So, question is this. This one thing is desiring to experience something is there in our culture. In anybody, every human being wants to experience. But then in our culture, it's even more because even more means what? That Atma, because we are masters of using the mind and understanding the mind, and we have so many things to offer that the Western neurologists and these sciences, they all keep on mining us, keep interviewing these Indians and Buddhists. They seem to know a lot and keep publishing papers on their name. I don't understand this logic at all, but that's for another day. And so this experience is there. Suppose I say Atma is very much there in every experience, my dear friend. Without Atma, no experience is possible. When you see the tree, also you say, I saw that tree, that's an experience, but that experience is possible because of Atma in you. Without Atma, no experience is possible. Try to understand that Atma, if I say. The question of how do I experience Atma itself is a wrong question if I say. The wrong question because you are experiencing Atma every second, whether you know it or not. You are experiencing the world and you are the experiencer constant. This experiencer experienced dichotomy is constantly there. It's never going to go away. Even for a jnani, it is going to be there for a wise person. But a jnani knows everything is Brahma, everything is Atma. Then what? Suppose I give you a technique to experience Atma. Different answer. Suppose I give you a technique to experience Atma. Now that you have come to this class, it's my duty as a teacher to tell you how to experience Atma. So I'm going to teach you a special meditation. Okay. What defines a wise person? Okay. Just 1 second. If you can pause it. Tarpanam is going on. So, suppose I give you the technique. Now you have to decide if you are a wise person or not, if you are a jnani or not. Because the person now I have experienced Atma. That has been everybody, whole world is searching for this. I found it. Suppose you say, you found it means what? I found Atma. That means what? You have seen Atma? Yes, I've seen Atma. When I sat in this meditation, my Guruji taught me how to see Atma, and therefore I saw it. But when you say I saw Atma, you have finitized Atma. The infinite Atma, you have made it into such a thing that you say I saw. Poor Atma, all along it was said, I am Vishnu, I am all pervasive. But now, thanks to you, you have just finished off the whole Atma into just one thing that I was able to see. Poor Atma, what to do? Helpless Atma. That is one problem. Another problem is wisdom means what? Experiencing Atma is called wisdom. If experiencing Atma is wisdom, then are you going to be seeing Atma every minute of the day, or are you going to get out of this meditation and then do other things during the day? When you're doing other things during the day, are you seeing Atma or are you not seeing Atma? All these questions will start coming. Only when I'm in meditation, I got moksha. I got moksha today for 30 minutes. The remaining 23 and a half hours, I didn't have moksha. I'm waiting for moksha. I'm not getting time to get moksha. Next, I think 3-4 days from now, I have a break. And it's a 3-day weekend, 3-day weekend. And so I will get some time for moksha there. Then this moksha will become coming and going moksha. Coming and going moksha is called apekshika moksha. It's just a time when I can feel good about myself and feel good about whatever it is to feel good about. And so that is not moksha for us. Jnanam means that which always stays with me is called jnanam. So jnanam and experience are not identical. They are two different things. I hope you're following what I'm saying. It's not an easy subject. I won't claim it's easy. It takes some time to get used to thinking like this. Okay. And so that's a good question. That's a good question. So we will continue to discuss this as we study. We'll continue to discuss. Experience is that which begins and that which ends. That is what can be called an experience. When I say I went to Coimbatore, I saw the Nilgiri mountains. My God, I didn't know. Right outside the home, you look, it's all mountains up and down. Peacocks are flying left and right. And birds from different species I saw. All in 10 minutes, I could see all this. Great experience. Why do you call it experience? Because some time ago I did not have the experience. Now I had the experience. Later on I will not have that experience. That is why it's called an experience. That which begins and ends is called an experience. Moksha cannot be that which begins and ends. That can't be moksha. Correct? Can't be moksha.
Correct.
Moksha is nitya. Nitya vastu it is. Therefore, just some ideas I've given you, Divya, okay?
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, so we will. Anybody else who has to introduce themselves? Divya, have you introduced yourself? Yeah, you have introduced before, of course. Right. So you got a job now, no? The new job is working out?
Yes,
Very
it is.
good.
Thank you.
Very good. Yeah, Divya had to get off from her previous job and found a job. Nice. Anybody else?
Guruji, one question. Meera here.
Yeah, go ahead, Meera.
Guruji, this cha api in the second shloka, does it refer to I am in every other object or being as much as I am in you? Does it refer to that? What is the significance?
Cha api mam vidhi. You're talking about the third shloka, right?
Yeah, what is the significance of that cha api?
Cha is kshetram and cha. And I told you what kshetram is. And then I introduced to you what kshetrajnam is in the previous shloka. What did I say it was? The one who knows the kshetram is a kshetrajna.
Hmm.
What is the first shloka? That is shloka number 2, right?
Yeah.
What did he say? The one who knows the body as kshetram is called a kshetrajna. Then there's more to kshetrajna than that. Cha and also that kshetrajnam, there is another important thing I'm going to tell you about this kshetrajnam, and that is that kshetrajnam is me.
Okay.
That's the cha there. I will see if Ramarai Kavi has said something about that and see if they have a lot, they spin these things in many ways. They're very creative. Tikakaras are very creative. And so sometimes for api and all they'll say this is why api like that. Okay, Vaidya, go ahead.
Yeah, Jaikumar ji, that earlier question about experience, I think that comes because because the word anubhava is used many times in this context of self-knowledge. And one meaning of anubhava is experience, but that's not the meaning that is intended. So, and then there are people also, modern Vedantists, who will say things like, in the white heat of meditation, you'll see Atma and so on, which Puja Swamiji used to, that would be a red rag for Puja Swamiji.
Yeah,
By the way, today, 15th August is Puja Swamiji's birthday.
Correct.
It's still 15th August in the US.
Correct. I think Salisbury, they celebrated the day also. Yeah. True. So Vaidya is mentioning a point, which is that the word anubhava is used for this Atma Vidya also, for that wisdom. Sometimes anubhava is used, not all the time. Occasionally it is used. But the bigger problem is the people who are supposed to have studied it, they have not studied it properly. And so they go around saying, let's experience Atma. That's a bigger problem. Vaidya, I think what you said is right. But the bigger problem is people who midway through they decided I got it. And then they get up and they start organizations and then say this is what it is. And they say things like, no, you don't need to study Shastra. Because the experience is like that, Then all this Shastra is meaningless. You don't have to study anything. You just have to sit and meditate. That is why Sampradaya is so important. That's so critical. Otherwise, any moment we can go off in a wrong track. And so that also, they keep saying experience Atma. And what will we do? We will just parrot whatever they say. And so the whole world is like that. And on top of that, rely on Western authors to talk about our Atma. It's a whole mess. It's a massive mess with different collage of different ideas are there. Different gurus can give different experiences, you know. Therefore, I do some guru shopping also. Like now I have an iPhone, later on I want an Android phone, and later on some other operating system. Let me try it out. So the essence is missed out. So the sanctity of the Shastram is so critical, critical. And so you're right, Vaidya, that Swamiji would we'll talk. We'll have more opportunities to talk about experience. It's an important question to address. So we will continue doing that. Thanks, Vaidya. So yeah, that's an insight we are getting now. Divya's question is giving us an insight. Insight that anything I experience now is going to be anatma. In fact, I'm going to define anatma to you. What is the definition of anatma? That which you experience is anatma. The experienceable is anatma. The perceivable is anatma. The objectifiable is anatma. Therefore, what is atma? Question should arise. That which is not experienceable is atma. That which is not objectifiable is atma. That which is imperceivable is atma. That is why Kathopanishad will say, Ashaddam asparsham arupam avyajam tatharasam agandhavachayat. Because the sense organs and the mind are all just designed to look outward, designed to pick up every sound, every smell, and every sight out there. Unfortunately, they have no way of turning around and looking inward. Kathopanishad, Yama is going to tell us another mantra next class tomorrow, where he's going to mention that. So these are some of the implications of this particular topic. Good.
Usually people who does lot of yogas, they say that the anubhava is experience.
Yeah.
I have come across quite a few like that.
Yeah.
But the first meaning in the dictionary, anubhava, is jnanam.
Anu means in keeping with. Bhava comes from the root dhatu to be. To be means what? That which exists is being. And my understanding in keeping with that existence is anubhava. Experience, if you say, becomes subjective. No two people's experiences are identical, correct?
Yeah.
I say I saw Atma and you say I also had a darshan of Atma yesterday. How are we going to compare these things? Who's to say I saw white light? You say, oh, my Atma was not white. It was yellow, bright yellow light. Right there is a difference. Who is correct? Who is wrong? These are basics. Actually, these are basics. The so-called rishis, they should point it all out and they should not, they lead their students astray. Those people who talk like this and I'll teach you how to experience Atma, they are leading the whole people astray. And it's not correct at all. It's not correct. It's highly ashastrik, avedic. Because an intelligent person will ask all these questions.
Yeah. But then I hear that the school of Bhamati and the other school, they have difference too.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
Bhamati does think that you have to experience. That's why in Vedanta Sara, Sadananda Muni is talking about at the end is experience.
Yeah. So therefore, look at this. Nobody said Jnanam will not give an experience. A good experience, an experience of Ananda can result from Jnanam. We don't preclude that at all. We don't preclude that. But if you would send people on a track of experience, nobody will talk about Jnanam. Nobody will talk about Mahavakya. Aikyam is not needed. You don't bring God into the picture at all. I can get the great experience without Ishvara. Where is Ishvara in the picture here? Not in the picture at all. Just teach me the trick how to see Atma. You teach me. What is all this Sanskrit and then grammar and Dishtika, Shankaracharya? Where is the role of Shankaracharya in this whole thing? Not needed at all. Shankara Jayanti, no need to celebrate. Just teach me how to. Whoever taught me that meditation, I'll mention the word. Okay, just for giving some respect, I will chant the name of that rishi who taught that meditation. I mean, be done with it. Over. Game is over. That is not how things work. That's not how things work. Therefore, experience can result. Jnanam will, it gives the experience of Anand. That's why Swamijis and all, if you see, they are not sad. They're not supposed to. I mean, this is Jnanam is not supposed to make us sad. Okay? It is supposed to keep us happy. And so they're all happy people. They're all happy people. They may have all kinds of problems with the body. All kinds of, every other week they'll be visiting a doctor, but they're still happy. Why? Anandanubhava only is there as a result of that jnanam. That jnanam, that avarana is gone completely. Therefore, the idea of I itself has changed. The idea of I is gone completely. The mortal I, no longer the mortal I. Mortality does not belong to me. Even though I am in a mortal body. That kind of idea will come to us. And so,
Thank you.
that is what gives the Shastra the staying power. Experience teaching will not stay for long. You can teach people some techniques. Techniques will change and come and go, and then 50 years from now, today's experience are all gone. So they'll be talking about some other type of meditation. And you take it to America, they will say, no, sitting where there is something called standing meditation. I'm going to teach. And people will pay money, big bucks to go for that. Big bucks. Really, you want to make money, you learn how to meditate, then go to America, get a visa, go to America, and settle down there, and you'll be a millionaire in no time. Just grow a beard and then take a course on how to grow a beard, which will, whatever. That's it, over. Life is made. So we are not after all that. We have to work a little hard and understand what's what. Then everything will follow. And thanks to Swamiji. Swamiji is the one who is always, he will say things like, experience is dumb. Experience is dumb. You know why experience is dumb? If experience enlightens, long ago we would have figured out that the earth is revolving around the sun, not the other way. Because for ages and ages and ages, they've been watching the sun going round and round. That experience is always there. Experience is dumb. There's no connection between experience and knowledge. There's no connection. Experience should make me think. It should make me ask the question, really? Is the sun going around me or I am going around sun? That question should come from this experience. But if I say no, sun revolves around the earth, and then keep quiet, that is called buddhu. It's called not buddhi, buddhu. Bolte hain. It's of no use. And so, therefore, experience need not be knowledge. Experience should be a starting point for inquiry, not an end. Not an end. I must be able to explain my experience. And when I explain it, that becomes knowledge. Then you will say, oh my God, my experience is opposite of what I learned just now. Because my experience tells me the sun is revolving around me. That's my experience. Everybody's experience. Therefore, our Shastram is so clear about it. It will just put down experience in next second. Don't bring experience to me. The experience is useless. That's an experience gross. It's just perception based, very subjective. And our Shastram will not. We'll tell it that and move on. Just move on beyond that. If you want to get stuck in experience, go ahead. Anyway, without Atma experience also, I'm getting good experiences. Why should I go? Why should I sit in meditation for good experiences? Tell me. Local ice cream parlor is there for good experience. Without sitting, I can just relax, have friends over, and then have a good experience. Yeah, Vijay, go ahead.
So, Guruji, last class, I think you briefly mentioned about there are no attributes for Atma, but we say Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, or Satchitananda. So maybe
Unmute.
oh, sorry, I was muted. Is it all along?
No, just suddenly it got muted.
Okay.
Your hand may have stuck something.
Okay. No, I was saying, so Atma, you mentioned briefly, okay, those are not attributes, but generally we say Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, or Satchitananda. So maybe first step of not realizing or experiencing, I don't know what word to use, would be to be in that state of maybe Ananda all the time, could be what initially we think is experience, and then go beyond that. Is that a correct way to understand it?
It's not the way Shastram says it. First step is Ananda, experience Ananda, then I'll take you to the real Ananda. Like that, it doesn't say. Shastram says you already experience Ananda. You don't need to sit and specially experience Ananda. Ananda is a common experience for everybody. Sukha and Dukkha, common experience. So there is no need to experience Sukha in a special posture.
Huh.
Okay, so there is no difference between Anandas, various Anandas. Just like there's no difference between Dukkha, sorrow. All types of sorrow are identical. I lost my business, sorrowful. I lost my son, sorrowful. Same sorrow. Sorrow has no flavors. And so, Shastram, I've not seen anywhere in any Bhashyam and any Shastra where they talk like that. I've not
a state of mind like that. I'm not saying in a particular posture for a particular time, because when you say Jivan Mukti means getting that realization when you're leaving, right? When you're alive and you still, so is that not maybe a state of mind or a state of no mind? I don't know what, but where you continue interacting and doing all the transactions in the world, but you are probably in a different state altogether. What that state is, I don't know. Okay, maybe we are used to experience, so we call it experience, but maybe it's beyond that. Words may not be able to put it or express it.
Yeah, but again, I go back. We all have been in that state, except not sitting and meditating like the posture that is being suggested. We've had those experiences. Ecstatic experiences are there. There can't be a more ecstatic experience than that ecstatic experience that you studied, that you've experienced. That is enough. That one ecstatic experience is enough. Enough to put our ceiling all the way up there. That's what I know what it means to be happy. Correct? Today I'm like this. I know what it means to be happy. So I'm always searching for that. I'm always searching for that. Correct? Because I knew what that happiness is. I knew what it was to be with my children, the extended family. I knew what it was to get my children married. I knew what it was, and I got a degree. I knew what it was. So that ceiling is all. We have put a bar. We have put a bar, right? Bar means what? What do you call it? We have a standard for Ananda. There is a standard, right? Anything less than that, it is like we have sweets and kara and all. How is it? It's okay. Could be better. Could have been better. So that's why. How do you know it could have been better? Because I've had tasted better ones before. Right? That's why. So Everybody has these experiences, Vijay. Okay. Therefore, the Shastram does not have to teach me any more experiences. That is why all this magic and sitting and getting magic and magical powers and all, the Shastram is not interested in at all. They will put in the category of Siddhi. Siddhi, magical powers. People can get magical powers. It's okay, you have Siddhis, you have some special powers. But that special power is not equal to moksha. Moksha and Siddhi is not equal. Siddhi is apara vidya. Siddhi is within samsara. So I know what you're saying. Maybe, but then what happens? Suppose I say maybe it's the people who got that experience will say, you know what, this is pretty cool. I like this very much. I'm willing to pay some money also to get this experience. And guess what? This guy won't be seen anymore. And then he'll come back. After some 10, 15 years, he'll come back. That is a different thing. But this experience track is the same, whether it is local ice cream experience or sub-local, whatever, extraterrestrial experience. It's the same thing. Nice try though. Vijay, nice thinking. Vijay is pushing. He's pushing. Good. Rukmini ji, go ahead.
Don't you think, Jay Kumar ji, this Satyam and Mithya that describes Atma more clearly in the sense Satyam is that which does not need anything to exist. It's on its own. It does not depend on something else for its existence. It is Svata Siddhaha and self-evident and attributeless. And this may be what the meditation and all, it's all as sadhana to realize that sadhyam. It is not actually to have the experience. And whatever this ananda and happiness, these are all vastu, rather the subject's reflected consciousness. It is not your original consciousness. Whereas your original consciousness is Sachidananda Swarupa. And what you have, you reflect when you see the Vishayananda, the Vastus. Whereas the Jada Vastu itself, it has no Ananda. The ice cream itself has no Ananda. When I experience, because I have Ananda in myself, I reflect. That is reflected Ananda. It is not original Ananda. Whereas my original Ananda is Sachidananda Swarupa. And that is one thing. And this Satya Mithya, that describes, I think, Atma better. It is Satyam. Trikalatitaha, Avastatrayatitaha. No?
Yeah. So your last question about Satyam and Mithya. Yeah, so there are different prakriyas, different ways of appreciating Atma, right? Different ways. And Drik Drishya Viveka. That is the prakriya here Krishna is using. Whatever you see is Kshetram. The seer is Kshetrajna. And that is Drik Drishya Viveka. The Satya Mithya is a different prakriya. Understanding the truth of everything, understanding the essence, adhishthanam of everything, every object. That the object changes, but that the unchanging essence of every changing object is Satyam. That's what you're saying. And so, yeah, that is another prakriya, another approach to the same Atma. So here, Jnanam is approach. Means what? Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Jnanam is Chetanatvam, awareness. I am aware of the kshetram. Therefore, I am kshetrajna. Whatever I am aware of is kshetram. That is satyam jnanam. What you said is satyam. That existence, that which always exists. Trikala baditam satyam. That is what you said. Yeah. Finally, the satyam and jnanam are identical. Okay. Correct. So what you said is it. So that,
that is
so
only
the reason we talk is
prakriya.
different prakriyas will appeal to different people.
Okay.
This is why you have different shastra texts. Why should you need so many texts if you ask? Yes, sometimes a different approach just appeals to me so much. All along I've been listening, I didn't follow. Suddenly I followed this. Somebody might say, great, hold on to that. And then connect it back to everything you heard before. What you said is, no, the Satyam Mithya approach is very accessible to me. For me, I can understand it very well. Yes, correct. Drikdrishya Viveka, a different approach. Different approach, which has to be connected to Satyam Mithya approach. They are not different approaches, maybe, but finally it's all the same thing. Everything has to be reconciled into one grand vision. Yeah. Good questions.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Somebody else had a question. Yeah. Okay, so we'll pause with that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraya Amrita Kalashahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trilokyanathaya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.